the big question is, what are item to damage in the standard seed is? So let's figure that out. That is a wonderful map. Just joking, that is the worst map to get in the game. This being Key Sanity, I will remind people that the way that Key Sanity works is that maps will tell us if a dungeon is a pendant dungeon or a crystal dungeon. That's not super important in this format since we're doing all dungeons anyway. The only dungeons that we really need to know we can are the green pendant. And there's my favorite item in the game, being the Cane of Samaria. That's going to allow us to do a lot of very interesting damage strats. Cane Armos Knights is probably my favorite new dungeon strat I've seen. We're not going to see that here because we're not an Randomizer, but it's still a lot of fun. Cane can be used to kill blind, which is really cool.
I also really like that cane can be used to kill blind.
That is the easiest way to kill blind outside of using a sword. So if you're off by yourself and blind's getting you down and you just don't know the script, pull out a cane, man. Nothing super important yet, other than the blue mail, which, I mean, is nice. Not super important. I'm sure both of these runners are going to be just fine. In case you're wondering, the group that we're playing is Group M. This is Kohrek, who is ranked 2 currently with 9 games and 6 wins, versus Lunchtime ATH. That is the gloves. That is very good news, because the more of the Dark World access items we get, the less likely we have to do AGA. We're gonna have to do AGA eventually anyway, but it's good to know that we don't necessarily need to do AGA yet. Lunchtime deciding to... both of them deciding to do cane strats on that guy, which I guess makes sense.
And there is our first pot key.
Well, yeah. That is the only guaranteed vanilla boss key. Unless we had a... Was that GT? Was that a different key? I completely missed it, I'm sorry.
According to the tracker, we have one AGA key and one pot key.
Oh, pod key. So, I heard boss key and was very confused. I was like, well, yeah, we did get a boss key. It was the boss key to the escape that you're guaranteed to get there. But yeah, the small keys, that is one good thing about Key Sanity. If you need to do AGA, you are going to be told that you need to do AGA with, like, bright lights and, like, neon signs that AGA is where you need to go. Especially in Key Sanity, where you need to have the net to get AGA. Unfortunately, we're not going to know about the net simply because net had to be removed for the Key Sanity tracking, but we will talk about the fact that net is a thing that we have when we get that, because net will be required to be able to beat AGA 1 and AGA 2. Lunchtime killing some extra enemies, hoping for a bomb drop. It looks like Kohrek already got a bomb drop. So this could be a pretty big advantage to Kohrek. It's not as big as it could be. We do have a glove, so we are going to have the ability to get back down here if we need to. Hammer works for Aga too? It does. It's certainly annoying. It's not something I've practiced personally. I guess I should say Hammer works for Aga as well. Yeah. Fortunately for lunchtime, all that Kohrek got in that basement was the ether. We might need ether, but we're not going to need it anytime soon. There's no keys there, or nothing super important.
And there's the second Aga small key.
2 Aga small keys. That is interesting. Looks like Kohrek is going to go ahead and do Houlihan. This is the faster Houlihan if you happen to have bombs and the glove, but most people do the flipper route for Houlihan simply because they don't have bombs to spare and gloves, so Kohrek going directly to Eastern area, which is an interesting choice. Are they? It looks like they're picking up bombs. They might be going to Eastern area. I do like this routing by Kohrek. They're going to have enough bombs to do all of Kakariko. And we don't often see Houlihan, but this seed has been very, very stingy on both bombs and money. So the Houlihan is going to save Kohrek some time. The lunchtime does get a double drop of bombs, triple drop of bombs, bringing him to 6 bombs. So that'll help a little bit. So now we know. Go ahead.
And we have the green pendant in Desert Palace. Oh, Hammer. That's really useful.
Hammer and Ice Palace Big Key. I mean, those are both really useful. As I was saying, Ice Palace Big Key is one of those keys that can troll you. It's less likely to troll you than the other big keys, but it can still troll you. So with that hammer, Kohrek is going to be able to kill Mini Moldarm Cave, which is going to be useful. He could have already done it with Cane, but Cane being our only item means that we're going to be very short on magic, so I do like waiting until we get another item to clear that cave out. Mirror in Chicken Hut. Very useful. This is one of the things I really like about Key Sanity. It tends to be either very heavy on keys at the start or heavy on items at the start, and more often than not, that's items. So you feel good going into dungeons. At least I do.
This also means that we have just a moon portal away from Dark World.
Yeah. Very, very clean Mini Moldarm room.
the bow.
Fantastic. And Ice Palace small key. So with that small key, they're going to be able to do all of Ice Palace with the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Eastern big? That's big.
That is big on so many levels. With the bow, they're going to be able to clear Eastern in one go. And with the hammer, all they need is Moon Pearl, and they might be able to do Eastern and dip into Pod at the same time. They'll be able to see kind of a lot of items in Pod without a single small key because of that mirror.
Kohrek skillfully dodging the crabs.
Well, with the blue mail, it is very skillfully he's dodging those crabs, but they don't hurt nearly as much as they normally do. We did get Swamp Big Key from Lunchtime. Again, one of those big keys that tends to troll people. And now we're going to have our runners taking control, just doing what the other runner did earlier, basically. It does look like Kohrek is going to go ahead and check race game without checking what it actually is, which I think is a fine move in Key Sanity. It's actually more often than not going to be something useful. Even if it's just rupees, that's rupees you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But alas, it is just a compass, which is basically the only thing that's completely useless. So while our runners are traversing what the other one has already done, oh, Lunchtime got
Half magic.
no, Lantern.
Half magic and lantern were both beneath the well.
The big thing that means is that Aga's available. Because we have the hammer, Aghanim 1 is clearable.
I don't play enough Swordless or Key Sanity or watch them enough to know, to have that click in my mind.
Yeah, so hammers is a thing that we can kill Aga with. We have both of the small keys for Castle Tower, right?
No, wait. I don't know. We might.
I could have sworn we had both those small keys.
But it.
Well, we'll see the next time that he pauses. Not a huge deal.
Does one of the keys for the escape sequence count as in Castle Tower key?
No, they are different keys. The escape keys are called Castle Escape, I think. Or they might just be called Castle keys.
Oh, Recitador, I think it's said that the first mark of Castle Tower key was Sewers key.
Oh, it was the Sewers key. Okay. That makes sense. That was required in order to actually finish the sewers. That makes a lot of sense.
Lunchtime going to grab the Ether Medallion.
Yep. So at this point, the only all of Death Mountain is completely in logic now. Kohrek going to check our pedestal, so we're going to get an early answer to the question, can this be a pedestal seed? Again, those are a little bit more likely in Key Sanity, simply because there's more items that are required to finish the seed.
And it's just 10 shots with the bow.
Yep, that is a dead ped. Lunchtime is going to be able to finish Eastern Palace in one go by going over here. And he's going to be very happy to see this hammer here. And Kohrek, I imagine, is probably going to check what... He might check what the ledge is, but he's almost certainly going to be going to Death Mountain here.
Will we require Ega for an item today?
Nope,
Doesn't
that is a
like
blue rupee. Might still need Aga. We still don't have that Moon Pearl, but the chance of Aga being required in this seed has gone significantly down. I think the worst thing that can happen at this point is a vanilla Castle Tower key leading to a Moon Pearl on the pyramid.
Oof, that's just bad.
So, the big question, so hints are especially useful in Key Sanity for the same reason as we said, like there's a lot more items that are required to be able to play. So Kohrek is doing what I like to do, especially in Key Sanity, and that's check this item from the back so that you can get the hints without even checking what it is.
It's a compass.
Those Turtle Rock big key is in the dark, I believe, is what that said?
I thought something like that too.
It's in the Dark Village, is what it says, so it's in the Village of Outcasts.
That's interesting.
Which is very different than saying it's in the dark. In the dark is a very specific set of places. But that is a big key that I'm sure our runners will be very happy to know where it is.
Did we miss the hint tile for lunchtime? Or did he run past it for now?
I think we missed it. Anyway, Kohrek is with that hammer and the book. He's able to check this tablet. We have a map to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, he's running past that hint, so we missed it.
I just looked at a clip. It looks like the hint was saying that Sahasrara is holding arrows, so the green pendant will not be required to be gotten to get items. It'll be required to be gotten to finish the seed, but not specifically to get items. Kohrek not finishing Hera. I'm a little confused about this. Hera is definitely finishable here.
Maybe he'll return once he...
Oh, no. This is Key Sanity. Hera's not finishable here.
That's a good point.
Incredibly clean. There's the big key to Tower of Hera, so Hera's going to be finishable for lunchtime. So lunchtime's routing has put him ahead of Kohrek, and it's solely the routing.
And we have a small key to Skull Woods in Spiral Cave.
Kohrek used a bomb to kill these two mini Moldorms so that because he's only at half a heart, so that he could get to the bottom here without worrying about dying, which is incredibly smart.
And I think lunchtime will be going to Death Mountain as well now.
Lucius, Eastern Propel's big key was Sphere 1. I don't quite remember where, but it was definitely somewhere that was accessible early. So I don't know why he bought that, because there's 2 hearts here. Maybe he just wanted every heart he could get for this upcoming mini Moldorm room. And he would have ended up getting a full heart refill, but don't necessarily know that. Kohrek went to Sahasrara early, before he got the big key. So there is less items there for him.
And we found the mushroom in Paradox Cave. So and we have the king, so we might get to see fake powder. If
I were Kohrek, I would probably go directly to fake powder and then turn in the mushroom.
After we get the Moon Pearl.
Is Moon Pearl required for fake powder?
I think it does.
I know Moon Pearl's required for, Wow, that was unlucky. Moon Pearl's required for water walking, but I'm not aware of it being required specifically for fake powder. You have to move away from that to target it again. Oh, no. He's setting up bomb jump. That was really cool.
And Chet is helping us out. Moon Pearl is not required for fake powder.
Thank you, chat. So once our runners finish here, the specific places they have left that they can go is they can turn in the mushroom, they can turn in Magic Bat by sequence breaking. They can check specifically Hobo by sequence breaking. They're not going to be able to do anything else there. They can get money and turn in Zora, and that's in logic. Can you think of anything else?
I'm not really thinking about what could be done next. I was watching chat.
Yep, there's the confirmation that the hint is telling us Sasha is arrows. There's a pod small key that lunchtime got earlier. There is the trolliest key in the game with the Swamp Palace small key. So as soon as we have Dark World access, Swamp Palace is completely available. And full clearable. So I imagine we'll probably see a dip. Oh no, we need flippers still. And hookshot. So I'm just wrong. But however, a early dip into Swamp Palace is probably a good idea. As anyone who runs regular swordless knows, the only weapon that you can kill Moldorm with, other than your sword, is the hammer. They have to actually route around that fact in swordless all dungeons.
And also a very nice Armos Knight's quick kill by Kohrek.
Yep. Almost to be expected by these runners. If you qualified for this tournament, there's a good chance you have a lot of tricks under your belt. Sorry, I said Ice Palace, I meant Swamp. Sorry for confusing chat. I do that all the time.
Kohrek returning to finish Tower of Terra, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, he has a few choices. The mushrooms and Zora we were talking about. I think however, this gets him the most item locations, so I do like this choice. After this, however, the most item locations in a single area is probably Aga Tower, honestly, because you get 2 item locations as opposed to the singletons that are everywhere else.
That's right, they can do desert. Thank you, chat.
They can do 3 item locations in desert, so 4 with the desert ledge, plus Aga not Aga. The cave. The hermit. That one. Yeah, you can get both chests in Aga Tower with just one key. However, you cannot finish it with just one key, unfortunately. Since we don't have... Go ahead.
And we have the hint tile in Tower of Hera said that Piece of Heart was in Mimic Cave.
Yeah. We saw that when lunchtime went by. That's useful information, though.
And we have our Desert Palace dip.
Yeah, this is 100% the right choice here. That is not something you want to see there.
I saw the gnome from the hint tile.
The net is the big thing. So you're gonna have to either decide whether you're gonna come back here when you have boots to check to get that net just for Aga. The clue was nothing. The clue was a fake clue. But the net, that is an awful place for the net to be. And we have the Moon Pearl.
And I believe Kohrek is also going to make the desert play right now. Oh, is he fake flipping?
Yes, he is. To go turn in the mushroom faster.
And maybe do Zora.
He might hard reset if this isn't anything. Because that mushroom is very useful. And there he goes.
And he is.
Yep. I do like that play. If you do that instead of doing fake powder and then mushroom, you end up with the mushroom, which, though rare, can be used as fake powder in a pinch.
And it seems like Kohrek is going to desert right now, and lunchtime will probably be opening a pipe cave.
The question is lunchtime gonna check the swamp clue? Because I do really like checking the swamp clue while you're here. It's probably about 15 seconds to check, but it could be really, really useful.
Hookshot.
So we're just waiting on Flippers to be able to finish swamp.
Oh, he's checking the red crystals. We know Eastern was one, and Pod. Ha!
And with 2 pod small keys, we can do a fair amount of pod with a bomb jump. In fact, we can do all of pod, including the boss, except for 2 locations with just 2 small keys. It will take a long time, not really something you really want to have to do, but it is possible.
And Bombo's tablet is another compass.
My goodness, the compasses in this game. Can't do boss without the big key. You are correct. If they had the big key, they could do everything except those two locations. And they could also save scum if they wanted to check those two locations.
And we're getting the Swamp Palace hint.
Park containers in plain sight. So, unfortunately, a useless hint, however. I think that's an area we've already checked. Because I'm pretty sure we've checked every single in plain sight location. As I said, they will need 4 keys to full clear with bomb jump. However, you can skip the 2 chests that are behind a single chest behind a key door to finish the dungeon if you want.
And a Mystery Mire Small.
Yep. The only one of 2 dungeon small keys that are completely useless. Might make Misery Mire a little bit faster, but there's no need for that. The other small key that's completely useless is Swamp Palace. That's completely wrong. Skull Woods. I always confuse those two. Swamp Palace small key is very much not useless. It is, in fact, the most useful small key, arguably. So considering the routing mistakes, Kohrek actually isn't that far behind. So Thieves Town, we can get the first 4 chests. Skull Woods, we can get 4 chests. That's going to open up Ice Palace, which is, as we've talked about, full clearable right now with a bomb jump. Not that you would want to. Without the fire rod in Swordless, but I'm sure as practice these runners probably did some cold stare hammer strats.
And doesn't look like Lunchtime will be checking the pedestal.
He might wait until he gets all the way to Moth before checking it, because he does have that mirror. And of course, we do still need the mitts to be able to access Ice Palace. However, we can once we can access Ice Palace, we can full clear it.
T-Rock.
We knew about this from the hint earlier. Remember?
Ah, yeah, right.
There's a total of 3 places that Turtle Rock Big Key was, and that was one of them. That was one of them. We have 2 bottles now on Lunchtime. I wonder if that's going to remind him to mirror and talk to Sick Kid.
He already did.
Oh, he already did. You're right. Absolutely. So it might be early for you. It is incredibly late for me right now. but it's fine. I'm glad I have a co-commentator to correct me when I get things wrong.
Now you can just blame it on being up so long instead of being
Clearly.
just awake. I have no excuse.
Barely awake.
It's like in the middle of the day for me today.
Kohrek setting up fake powder. Fake powder, in case you don't know, requires that you have 0 magic, the cane, and the mushroom. You use the cane, cause the sound, and then immediately switch to mushroom and use it as quickly as possible. We have no idea why this works.
But it does work, and we use it.
Yes. And we get powder.
Wow.
Lunchtime has mitts, so that is Ice Palace completely open. And since Lunchtime didn't do fake powder, that means that he's going to be able to dip into Ice Palace without having to figure out a source for magic, which it's just another of those times where Kohrek makes exactly the wrong decision at just right before learning that it's the wrong decision. But that's randomizer. Sometimes you get randomized. Okay, we have an idea of how it works, but we don't know how it works. We don't have a master's thesis paper we can write to explain how it works like we do for a lot of EG tricks. EG being exploration glitch, which is completely banned and we'll probably not talk about much when we're talking about randomizer. That's flippers. That puts Ice Palace in logic as well. We could have gotten to Ice Palace, but now it's in logic. So that's probably Lunchtime making a beeline for the 2 water dungeons. I do like Lunchtime going ahead and grabbing this purple chest. He's going to literally go right by the turn-in for this to get to Swamp Palace, so it makes a lot of sense to do this. And we're actually about to, because he's probably dipping Swamp Palace, we're about to see my favorite boss to do swordless. And that is the menu boss, that is Argus. So, the big thing about Key Sanity that is interesting and that you learn as you play more of it is you never want to dip a dungeon unless you can full clear it. And if you can full clear it, you want to dip it as soon as possible. Since we can full clear both Ice and Swamp Palace, they're probably very, very likely going to be dipping both of those dungeons before doing any water checks.
And on top of that, we have to full clear all the dungeons anywho, so better to do them right away.
Lunchtime choosing not to do Swamp and instead opting to go and do a water check and making me a liar. And also dipping pod, which you can't actually clear. And if Kohrek goes directly to Swamp, I would say this would probably be the first time that Lunchtime has made a decision that Kohrek didn't make, and it probably makes a little bit more sense for Kohrek's decision. We will see which one pays off, but I do disagree with Lunchtime's decision to not dip these two dungeons right now.
And a small key to Mystery Mire, second one.
So it looks like, based on the fact that Kohrek is going in the Dark World before turning in this purple chest, it makes me think that he is definitely dipping Swamp here.
There's powder for lunch. Returning the mushroom for lunchtime.
Yep, he'll be getting the red meringue out of this. And going to fill up his bottles. Again, I do think it's a little weird to fill up your bottles here, since you're going to get a free refill at the Waterfall Ferry, and it's probably good to know what that refill is. But not a huge deal.
And he's going straight to Sorrow region and catch fish.
He is clearing out a lot of overworld checks, and again, this being Key Sanity, it's very likely that these overworld checks are required. However, this detour up here has yet to pay off. But we have 5 checks to see if it will pay off.
Just $20 so far. Just 2 more things here. It's a big key. Oh, he's tough. I wouldn't imagine him skipping that.
I mean, he's definitely picking up that big key. It might be required. The only way it's not required is if it's specifically Skullwoods. And the Skullwoods big chest doesn't have a required item.
While he gambled here, well, gambled, not really. He gambled with his money to get from 500 to 100, making his pockets just a little bit lighter.
And it's fine, he has money. As demonstrated by the fact that he decided to buy those things. And it's the Misery Buyer Big Key, that is required. So, unlike other formats, it is, I feel like, kind of rare to see a skip of Left Side Swamp unless you specifically know what's on Left Side Swamp in Key Sanity. So, I imagine Kohrek's probably going to full clear here.
And we found Cape in Swamp Palace, and I missed what was in big key. It was a big key to east. No, not eastern.
The big key that was on the ledge was to Meyer.
But the big key in the big key chest of swamp. What was that?
I'm not certain.
Okay. Thank you, chat and
Pod.
our
Thank
tracker. It was the pod big key.
So now, all but 2 chests in Pod are finishable. With a bomb jump and interesting routing through Pod. Interesting, annoying routing through Pod. There he goes.
And left side swamp will be three bombs and
Turtle Rock Small Key, which is required if you want a full clear Turtle Rock. The big thing that bomb upgrades are bought in is swordless, because you may need to use bomb strats to do some bosses. I think with how stacked our runners are with items right now, it's less likely to be required. However, it's still a good thing to get. That was not unique in Mimic Cave, that was unique in Mini Moldorm Cave. We actually know that Mimic Cave is a heart piece. Ganon's Tower Small Key? One of 3 required to finish Ganon's Tower in one go. Palace of Darkness is a red crystal. We know this for a fact. And not only that, we're in an all dungeon seed, so we're gonna need to kill it, finish it anyway. And we have boots!
Less makes some tricks exponentially more easy.
So since we know we're going to get boots in this seed, the big question is whether we're going to need whether our runners are going to go ahead and grab those the net before going to Aga. No interesting way to kill Argus here, like a fire ice rod or silver arrows, so just hammer strats is basically required. Skullwood's big key. Where's lunchtime going? Oh, yeah, I don't understand where he's going right now. He's already gotten everything over here. Oh, he's checking the hints, I guess? Left side of Meyer is the Ganon's Tower big key. That is huge. And that is a hint location that is very likely that Kohrek skips. Why would he skip the hint location? Because it costs time to get it. Like the same reason you skip any location. It's guaranteed to not specifically be a key item, and it costs time to get it.
Ooh. Lunchtime does have a ferry, though. No, he doesn't.
No, he got rid of the ferry to get a potion.
I thought he picked one up later.
Kohrek is checking Castle Tower, the two items here. He can't get to Aggie, he doesn't have enough small keys. He's just checking the two items in here.
Unless there's one small key in the tower.
Yeah. But with the mirror, this is a pretty quick check. And he's literally passing this by. The only reason Lunchtime didn't check this has got to be because he didn't think of it. And it's very easy to forget about that in Key Sanity if you don't do it all the time.
And Aga's Tower was a bust. Just a map of escape, I think. And 10 arrows.
Yeah. So, just peace of mind in Aga's Tower. And there's his fourth bottle, which is the fairy in a bottle. That might be the fairy that our chat was thinking Lunchtime had, which Kohrek actually does have. This is a little unfortunate that Kohrek is checking this when we know that boots are in Ice Palace. However, it does make sense to do this little trip here while you're going and finishing the water area along the top. What am I saying? The two fishmen. Well, going to talk to fishmen about ripping us off.
And Kohrek also releasing a fairy.
I think he still has a fairy, though. We have not seen King's Tomb yet, no. While our runners are traversing the areas that the other one has already done, I would like to take a moment to... That was weird. I'd like to take a moment to ask you to give these runners a follow. They're putting themselves out there for your enjoyment and giving us a really fantastic show. They're both fantastic runners of this game, and a lot of fun to watch.
And by thanking the runners, I also want to say thank you to Tirasu so far for already being on top of the tracking and keeping us straight on all things.
So Kohrek, based on the fact that he didn't save and quit there, almost certainly dipping Ice Palace here. Was there anything other than the boots in Ice Palace? Not that there needs to be anything more. The boots are amazing.
I know that there is a bottle in ice.
Yeah, there's a bottle, and there's also that insane hint that we have to... that Kohrek has to hope he doesn't miss. I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with chat and say that boots are good in any mode. Boots are amazing, always. And in this case, it leads to Bugnet. Menu boss is the best boss in the game. I don't know what you're talking about, Mikan.
So,
Very
what do
clean
you-
second phase. What's up?
what would you think would the runners do individually after their respective dungeons?
Dip pod, I guess, at this point. Can't do Skullwoods, can't get to Mire. We can get to Turtle Rock, but we can't actually do a lot of it. A Dark Death Mountain might be a good play. Lunchtime looks like he's going to be checking the 2 Bonk Rocks here, with King Soom and Bonk Rocks. We don't know Cole's items, so it's possible that's going to change our decision on where we want to be going.
And we found out what King's Tomb has, and it was a small key to Skull Woods. So Kohrek is missing out on that small key.
Remember, the small key Skullwood small keys are useless, just like the Mire small keys. You can full clear both of those dungeons without either of those items. And Kohrek going ahead and checking this amazing hint. It's going to put all of his fears to rest. The only item we can get out of Desert Palace at this point is specifically the bug net.
And here we are in Skull Woods.
I mean, this, I think, is the highest preponderance of items at this point in time. I didn't say he was likely to skip it. I said it was the hint he is most likely to skip. Those are different words.
And Kohrek is dropping into the Cold Stare fight.
Let's see how his hammer strats are. Any swordless runner will tell you that this fight is just a pain. Just the biggest pain to do with just hammer.
And what will the small key on Bumper Ledge be?
Pod.
Ooh, that's useful.
That is very useful. It means that they can either do one more item that's behind a small key, or they can check, or they can do the dungeon more quickly if they wanted. That is about as clean of a Cold Stare fight as you're going to get in Swordless, without the Fire Rod. despite the fact that he had to use a fairy to do it, I would be very happy if I were Kohrek. That is a move I have never seen at a lunchtime, to multi-hookshotting the dead rocks to move them out of the way. That's really cool. But yeah, Dark Death Mountain. Pretty high preponderance of items and the ability to dip into Turtle Rock if you want. This makes a lot of sense. We also have the cape, so that puts and half magic, so that puts Spike Cave very, very, very in logic right now. And there's the Fire Rod. That is going to make... I think with our key situation from Turtle Rock... we can get all the way to... right past the big key chest. And the big chest. If we were to want to dip in there. Kohrek is just, looks like he's just tracing like lunchtime's steps, which makes a lot of sense. As we said before, there's a high preponderance of items up here. And I imagine after checking these 3 items, Kohrek is very likely to follow right where lunchtime is and check the items that are in Dark Death Mountain. Completely useless hint. And our first item is Peace Heart. That does make sense. Ice Palace is much easier to beat at this point with that Fire Rod. Fire Rod was in Hookshot Cave. Or Super Bunny. It was one of those two. Super Bunny sounds more right, actually, now that I think about it. However, that's just one check as opposed to the 2 that you get from finishing Skullwoods. And the several that he's going to get from doing Mire that he's very likely to do now. Now that he has that flute. Lunchtime, I guess, realized that he can do more of this dungeon? Oh no, it needs a full magic refill. So we know that one of the fire-locked items in Mire is the Ganon's Tower Big Key, and we know the other is completely useless. So let's hope that it is not the cutscene. I think this decision is completely fine. He's skipping 4 chests in Turtle Rock to check Spike Cave, However, this was the perfect moment to check that big key chest and hard reset if you wanted. Which I would have highly endorsed. We are missing Ice Rod, Thieves Town Big Key. We're technically missing the Ganon's Tower Big Key, but we know where that is. We're missing a Castle Tower Small Key, a Desert Palace Big Key, and we are missing 3 Turtle Rock Small Keys. So we're missing a lot of keys. Technically not missing... Oh, we do need silvers, because this is Swordless mode, so we're also missing silvers. However, Ganon's going to tell us where silvers are, fortunately. I believe I got everything. Anyway, get your 07s and count, and chat. There's our confirmation that Skullwoods is a crystal. We are missing a few pod keys. We are 1 pod key away from being able to finish this dungeon with weird routing, and 2 pod keys from being able to finish this dungeon without weird routing. And a bomb jump. Oh wow, that was the same exact clue as before. That's unexpected. If silvers are in pod and they're behind one of the locked doors, then yes, we will need 1 more. Behind specifically a locked door that we don't check here. I do like going ahead and finishing pod here. It lets you do weird hard reset stuff.
Let's see how this moth fight goes. It's already really annoying with just a sword, in my opinion, and doing it with hammer, just respect.
With half magic, you can still also use Fire Rod, but Fire Rod does half as much damage as the hammer does, so your mileage may vary. With 2 small keys, if Kohrek chooses to kill himself, save and quit, and then immediately use these small keys to go through the very first key door, he can very, very quickly check the big key chest, yeah. Save and quit, and then come back later, if he wants. That would be a choice, I guess, is the right way of saying it. I think it's much more likely that he just simply skips that chest altogether. Save and continue is what he would need to do, yeah.
Turtle Rock, Small Key, and Map to Misery. Not too bad.
One more to finish Turtle Rock, 2 more to full clear it. Save and continue after dying on purpose. Yes, that is 100% what I mean. He does not do that, though. He's going to go ahead and skip both of the chests behind small keys, which I 100% endorse. I think this is the fastest way to do this. And he gets rewarded for that decision. So the only small key is going to be, only location he's going to be skipping is likely the big key chest, if I had to guess. And there's the ice rod. So we are... So we know that the Gannis Tower big key is behind this cutscene over here. And we know that we are still missing silvers for item no mode at this point.
This does give us an excuse to check the hint tile at the top of the room.
There he goes.
Or at least an opportunity. And
there's
silver arrows.
That is item no mode. We are still looking on several small keys, but... And now Lunchtime knows where the ice rod is, so he is highly incentivized to go ahead and dip into pod. Gannis Tower big key, we knew about that. A very well-timed hint there. Where's Kohrek going now? He's finished... Does he have all of the red crystals? He does. He's checking Pyramid Fairy, I think. And there he goes.
With a big red bomb.
Fortunately for Kohrek, he is not going to Desert Palace. There's the last required pod key. Lunchtime doing the most interesting routing that you can only really do in Key Sanity, where you do left side first, because you have a small keys coming into this dungeon. He's already checked Desert. He can, if he goes to Desert, he can get the... Oh, that's a small key to Turtle Rock. That's very important. So we... Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Lunchtime now got all 5 small keys for pod.
There are 6 small keys to pod. Only 5 required to full clear, though, if you do a bomb jump.
This goes to show how much I know of the randomizer. Well, Key Sanity, mostly.
Yeah, there's a lot of very specific knowledge you need. Fire Rod was in Super Bunny Cave, so Kohrek is about to get it right now. The Turtle Rock Small Key, I think the third Turtle Rock Small Key was in Mire. So it was either in Mire or it was in the place right next to Mire, but it's in this area, so they're basically required to dip into Turtle Rock and then come back later. But since both runners are going to be required to do that, it's not actually that big a deal. To be fair to Kohrek, he was waiting until he had enough stuff to be able to do a fair chunk of Turtle Rock before coming up here.
Oh, lunchtime takes death.
Oh no, he has a fairy. He got that fourth fairy in a bottle. He does not have enough arrows to be able to beat this boss, but he can do a significant chunk of his health with those arrows. 8 arrows, I believe, to kill the big eye on Vidi.
In my head, I want to say 9, but I'm not too sure about it. And we're getting a checkerboard cave check.
Makes a lot of sense. We're not really going to be coming back here anytime soon, so... right this moment, I would probably put... We really don't know. We don't have enough information. The fact that Kohrek has those items from Pod is a big boon to him, but we are still missing 2 big keys and a small key that we have no idea where they are to give a good estimation of who's actually ahead. Essentially, each of our runners have a dungeon under their belt that the other runner doesn't. That the other runner hasn't even dipped. And Lunchtime has the extra downside that he didn't finish Cold Stare in his first dip here. I do like this buy. It's going to make killing Vitruvius just a bit easier. Kohrek, simply because he went to Pod first, is going to be able to do Vitruvius in basically one cycle. It's going to be a blink and you miss it fight. Not only can Desert Palace and Thieves Town big keys be in GT, but at this point, that is the highest likelihood place for them to be. Hammer damage is equal to Tempered Sword. However, arrow damage is variable based on the enemy you're hitting with it. Arrows... Arrows are weird. In fact, all enemies are weird based on the damage source and the damage the enemy you're hitting. And again, to answer the question in chat, damage damage tables are weird. It is probably not super useful to go through what specifically each damage table is. So both our runners doing the boss the other runner didn't do, and very likely both of our runners are going to be dipping into the dungeon the other player didn't do right after this. I would imagine Lunchtime is going to be going to Pod after this, and I imagine that Kohrek is probably going to be going to... Meyer after this. So this is the only compass in the game that is misleading. Even in Key Sanity, you're guaranteed to have a small key in a specific chest in this dungeon. And that chest is included in the count of items. So Kohrek very likely is going to get 7 out of 8 while having full cleared the every item in this dungeon. The only thing we can consistently say is that for every enemy that can be consistently hit by both the hammer and the tempered sword, they do exactly the same damage. And the only circumstance I can think of where an enemy can be hit by the tempered sword and cannot be hit by the hammer is Ganon himself. Except for in this mode. In this mode, we're going to break that rule.
Kohrek going in for that last item.
I think Lunchtime skipped this item, so it's would be good to know what this is.
And indeed, Lunchtime is going to Pod.
Yeah. And Kohrek almost certainly going to be headed to Meyer here. Kohrek is going to have a much easier fight with Vitruvius than Lunchtime did, simply because of those silver arrows. Not only does getting to Pod take a while, but doing Pod with fewer than 5 keys is a nightmare. However, we have 5 keys, so this is going to be a very fast full clear of this dungeon. And in fact, we might not even see a bomb jump here, because Lunchtime is going to get his 6th small key very soon.
Kohrek. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't have big key. I was just about to say that he's leaving with just a bug net and not finishing it, but no big key means no boss.
He just wants that bug net, and I don't blame him. So unless things get really screwy, Kohrek is not going to be coming back to Dark Palace anytime soon. That was the only item he didn't check, and it is confirmed to be nothing. Kohrek doing his mirror checks before going into Mire, as opposed to Lunchtime, who did them afterwards.
I'm thinking to myself, did Lunchtime check the hint?
In Deep Pod, yes.
I mean in Mystery Mire.
I don't think so, actually. No, he did. He did. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure he did. Did Kohrek check the hints? No, he did. It was a useless hint, and I remember it being useless when Lunchtime checked it. It actually wasn't useless for Lunchtime. It was useless for Kohrek. That is a dead Helmosaur, but not a finished pod. We still have 2 key items to get in this dungeon. And I think after those 2 key items, we're going to officially be in item go mode. So the big question is, the answer to the question is probably no. However, I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you check the Hera basement right before you go into GT if we still have the big keys required to get?
I don't know. I myself don't play Key Sanity, so I can't offer much insight on that.
It is a pain to get back to Tower of Hera That is the next time they're going to be passing it. So... Three items are required. We have 2 big keys and a small key still required to find. So with that, our runners have caught up with each other. So now we can officially say that lunchtime is slightly ahead, but I think it's going to be by 10 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, indeed, not much.
Oh no, lunchtime is checking one more location that Kohrek already checked, and that's the Super Bomb. So, and Kohrek, I believe, has 3 Turtle Rock small keys. So he's going to be able to go to Turtle Rock right now and go ahead and finish that. So, I'm a liar. Kohrek is actually slightly ahead. Not only is he slightly ahead, he also already has gotten the bug net, so he's going to have a easier time on Aga 2 when he gets there. He can't do Aga 1 yet. It is both Agas, but there's a very good chance that lunchtime grabs the bug net before doing Aga 1. Based on the fact that he's almost certainly going to be doing Aga 1 after finishing all the rest of the dungeons.
So now lunchtime has 3 Turtle Rock small.
Yep. So we're going to be almost certainly seeing a double skip of the Turtle Rock big key chest. Oh, that's a fall that hurts your pride more than hurting anything else, coming out of Kohrek. Shroom was the red meringue. There's the last small key. We are not going to be skipping the big chest. That is very well timed, since that is literally the last chest that could have given that key without causing a headache. Cannot hammer dash through pegs without the sword. Every other item dash works though. That's a good nickname for Key Sanity all dungeons. You're going to be full clearing. That's just what's going to happen. Kohrek Mirror getting out the... Is he checking? He's checking Mimic Cave. I guess he forgot about the hint.
I was just about to note something about that as well, but you were ahead of me. And from memory, I know that was just a piece of heart.
Yeah. So that's about, I'd say about 7 to 10 seconds that Lunchtime, if he remembers that hint, is going to be able to get on Kohrek.
The question is, did they both check the hint?
I'm pretty sure both of them checked the hints, because both of our runners have been pretty diligent about checking all the hints that have been easily available to them.
Let's see if Lunchtime remembers. And he does.
He does. That is a little bit of time. Lunchtime is getting back. This is becoming a very close race. Like, I feel like it might come down specifically to getting rid of a fairy for Cold Stare. Kohrek considering doing the dash strats here and decides, no, we're just gonna use the safe way of doing it. There's the Cane of Burna, not super useful at this point. All the bosses that is useful on... Oh wait, no, Cane of Burna is actually super useful because we haven't killed Blind yet. And that's going to make the Blind fights easier. It won't make it faster because of lag, but it'll make it easier.
And Lunchtime is just thinking, I'll just dash through them.
This is not actually necessarily faster with half magic, but it has so much swag. Why? How can you not do it? Kohrek getting frustrating at the ice head.
This might come down to this fight as well.
Hammer Trinex is not an easy fight. It is a fight I practice constantly because of how difficult it is. And it's a fight you're probably going to need to practice if you want to get good at swordless. It looks like Lunchtime has probably practiced it. Because this is looking to be a very clean fight here.
We can enter Ganon's Tower now.
Unfortunately, we do not get to do the key game. Makes me sad.
I totally forgot about it.
It doesn't matter. Welcome to Key Sanity. If you guessed -13, you won. Good job. They're 40 seconds behind.
Number 1 doesn't matter. Number 2 doesn't matter.
I might check this room if I'm this many items out of go mode. Neither of our runners look like they're going to be checking Hera, though.
And Kohrek makes it in time.
That did look close, though.
And it looks like they're taking the same route. And a big key to desert. Oh.
That is only one item as opposed to the 4 you would get from Thieves Town, so... good, but doesn't actually open that many locations.
I wouldn't want to check Thieves Town without the big key, though.
No. The four chests in the back of Thieves Town. Both of our runners have checked the front.
But you can't get to the back without the Thieves Town big key.
No, that's what I mean. The Desert Palace big key only gets us 2 items, as opposed to the 4 that the Thieves Town big key would get us.
Oh. I was thinking something really in a different way. I'm not in my key sanity mindset.
Oh, we actually do know that the green pendant is not useful, so don't care about that. Yeah, we're very likely going to be full clearing GT unless we get both of our keys very soon. One thing I like about this format is it's the only format where you consistently open the Ganon's Tower big chest. Both of these big keys in Ganon's Tower would be absolutely amazing, actually. Because of the specific dungeons that the big keys are... Oh, yeah, there it is. We're a Aga Tower key away from Go Mode.
What would be the worst place for that key to be at right now?
Hera Basement. %. That is, I guarantee, the last place that either of these runners is going to check. We've already checked inside of our Aga Tower, so we know it can't be there. Let's get ready for another blink and you miss it.
Oh, that's right. Chat is pointing out tile room.
Oh yeah, tile. I imagine Tile Room is going to be checked at the same time that, Nope, we're in go mode. Actaboker saying Tile Room Gamer makes sense here right after it stops making sense. Good job. Love you, Ak. You're the best.
Now the race is on.
This is incredibly close. It's just execution. And in this mode, execution on specifically Ganon is not free by any means. Kohrek does have the bug night advantage for Aga 2. He's not going to have that advantage for Aga 1.
And at this moment, lunchtime is 28 seconds behind.
It was like 40 seconds coming out of Total Rock, so he has made up some time.
In my head, I'm all thinking like, okay, it's down to this, and Ganonfall could make it, but even I forgot all dungeons, so Desert and Thieves Town would have to be completed as well.
Yeah, Desert and Thieves Town are going to have to be completed, but that does not mean that a Ganonfall is what it could be the difference, because the bosses that are left are not hard bosses. Especially with the items we have. We are dressing to the nines for these bosses.
That's true, and lunchtime skipping the anti-fairy, so he'll have a better time, and having us one cycle, first cycle, Armos second, Armos, Lanmolas. That makes up time.
Ak, I don't think you have enough magic to do this. I might be wrong. I probably am wrong, but it's definitely close. I just said Ak. I meant Kohrek. Ak?
Kohrek.
Kohrek, yes. Yeah, that's definitely what I meant. Yeah, but Lunchtime's execution here is fantastic right now. I mean, Ak would have a pretty significant advantage considering he's in chat and can see what everyone else is doing. Wow, that was very lucky from Kohrek that Helmasaur got out of the way. Anyway, time to see the difference between having the bug net and not having the bug net. Item dashing works specifically for this as well. The only thing that item dashing doesn't work for in swordless is hammer dashing over pegs, right?
So the thing on the table right now, Desert Palace, Thieves Town. Which one would you do first?
I'm gonna take the third option and say Aga. I don't agree with Kohrek here. I don't agree with this move. Aga is a full heal and puts you right in front, on top of Ganon. There we go. Lunchtime gets the kill on Aga 2. However, both are... Really? Lunchtime, you know where that, bug net is, and you're still going here first. I commend you. That is a ballsy move.
I was looking all over the tracker trying to find the bug net, but the Castle Tower and Ganon's Tower took over that spot.
Yeah, in Key Sanity, you have to get rid of the bug net for everything to fit.
Now,
we don't have a swordless Key Sanity tracker, unfortunately.
I was just about to propose that we make one. I mean, when it's swordless Key Sanity, when it's swordless, you want to see if they have the bug net.
That is important, yes. So Lunchtime probably going to make up a little bit of time because Kohrek actually ran out of silver arrows here. And every item in this tower except for Aghanim himself can be killed with just one silver arrow. We are in go mode. For everyone's information. We just have to go finish some dungeons and then go mode is had by us. The spawn in on Pyramid from Turtle Rock would probably make the Aga check doing Agahir a lot more sense. Words are difficult. But yeah, desert is definitely the correct choice here. The pendants, big keys were specifically in GT, so they basically had to do the routing that they're doing currently. Lunchtime missed a ball and is getting extra blue balls, unfortunately. And with only 10 arrows and half magic, probably if I were Kohrek, I would do fire rod strats here. But I am not Kohrek.
And just one dungeon away from Kohrek.
Yep.
And since we're in go mode, he can just run right to the boss, right to blind.
Well, sort of. He has to go pick up blind and so Thief's Town is one of the worst dungeons to go mode because there's just not that much. You still have to do a pretty large deal of the dungeon even in go mode.
I forgot about. I was thinking in Randomizer terms. I'm just thinking about all the wrong settings.
Where are you going, Kohrek? Oh, he needs arrows. No. Never mind. I could have sworn this shop was the arrow shop. I guess I'm wrong. Why the potions? If you've ever done Silverless Ganon before, you will know why the potions. The hammer to hit Ganon is only allowed specifically in this mode. It's not in the base game. But it is still a pain.
You said Silverless Ganon. I think it's Swordless Ganon, but...
I said Silverless. I meant Swordless. If you've ever done Swordless Ganon in this mode.
Really nice landmo fight from lunchtime.
Yeah. So lunchtime was... it would have taken... what? 30 seconds to go pick up that bug net, and it saved Kohrek over lunchtime at least a minute, if not a few minutes. However, it does look like Kohrek is still only about a Ganon's fall. Sorry, Lunchtime is still only about a Ganon's fall behind Kohrek right now. So this is still a race. It really depends on what our chosen strats are on this boss. I personally would probably do the first 2 phases with Hammer and then switch to Kain, but Kain makes the whole thing very, very easy. I would be wrong. It looks like Kain is going to be faster than any other possibility.
And that means we can go to the pig with Kohrek.
Yep.
Saving and quitting right to the top of the pyramid.
So we need, because Hammer does tempered sword damage, and in Swordless we have changed the fight so that you can actually hit Ganon with the hammer. We'll need 12 hits on the first 2 stages, 4 hits on the 3rd stage, and on the 4th stage we will need 4 crystal silver arrow shots. That was very close, but Kohrek made it. I have not been counting at all. That is 3rd phase, though.
And last phase, just 4 silver arrows.
Yep.
And we have to... And that is it.
Good job to
Unless he
Kohrek.
falls.
I don't think he's close enough to fall at this point.
And Kohrek has finished with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 17 seconds. Let's say a big GG, and let's wait for lunchtime to finish.
So I think what this race came down to was the death without the fairy on ice, on Cold Stare, and not picking up the bug net.
so far this has been a heck of a seed.
That was 5 hits. Yeah, Ganonfall definitely would have made up the time for lunchtime.
Just a couple more hits. Oof, and he misses the torch glitch.
Not super important with half magic and silver arrows.
And that is the pick down for lunchtime as well.
Good game.
Lunchtime has finished with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 17 minutes and 19 seconds. Just 3 minutes and 2 seconds away from Kohrek. So let's see if they are up for an interview. Hello and GG Kohrek.
If you're talking, we can't hear you, Kohrek. We might be having slight technical issues with Kohrek. It'll be just a moment before we can start our interview.
Hey, GG. Sorry about that.
GG. How are you feeling, man?
It wasn't my best performance, but I am very happy for the win. I think I routed everything together as well as I could. My decisions made sense, but man, I was a little bit shakier than I have been in a while for some of that execution. So happy with the result, though.
So what the race ended up coming down to was lunchtime died on Ice Palace and didn't have the bug net for either Aga kill, whereas you did. He actually was making up time outside of those two things on you, and his routing in the early game was better than yours. He was able to do Hera when he went to light Death Mountain, but you weren't. He was able to do Eastern Palace, all of Eastern Palace when he did Aga, but not Aga, Sahasrara, but you weren't. But other than that, your execution in the early game did gain you some time.
So, I would say that if he definitely did Eastern first and did that sequence, it would certainly worked out better. But the route I did made a lot of sense because what I was thinking was I already had the bow, I had the hammer, the gloves, a pod small key, and there was a really good chance that the Moon Pearl would be on Death Mountain. And if it was, then I could combo the front of pod and Eastern Palace together, which would have been pretty efficient. It didn't work out that way, but I didn't really have any regrets because it was a pretty well-informed and thought-out choice at that point.
Great. I'm not saying that your routing was wrong. I'm saying it was wrong specifically for the seed in comparison to lunchtime's routing. It just happened to end up that way. But, I mean, your execution was good enough. You didn't die any bosses without a fairy. You took the 30 seconds it took to go get that bug net, and that saved you probably a good 2 minutes over lunchtime. Was there anything you would have done differently in this seed?
I don't think so. I play better, but other than that, yeah, I thought I thought I made good decisions and played pretty well. Just not as good as I should have, but it was enough this time.
Yep. Kudos to that. Demons, do we have any information on lunchtime joining this little chat?
Not that I know of.
Okie dokie. That being the case, this is only the first tournament run of the day. I know we have others throughout the day. Let me just check the schedule here.
I know that there is 2 races that are going on right now. One is restreamed. It's the Gem versus Quiz Bowl on Speed Gaming 3. And then we have one race that will start in about 30 minutes on this channel right here, Speed Gaming 2, which is Fear Agent versus Liam Atlas. So, if you want to watch more Link to the Past Randomizer full tournament races, those are races you can watch. And I've been Demons Druid, and my co-com has been D2 Camps. And at least I want to say thank you to Tirasu for tracking for us. Thanks to Kohrek and Lunchtime for racing. And I've been Demons Druid, joined by D2 Camps, and I want to close off my talking with thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. Have a good day, everyone.